This is my new McCarty 594. It's a 10 top and faded blue jean. Today we're going to be doing the typical demo thing. You'll be able to hear it being played through a few different amplifiers perhaps and some various pedals to give you an idea of what this thing sounds like. But then I want to talk about the playing experience specific to this guitar, as well as how do I feel this thing really stacks up and how much better is it than the SE or the updated S2 that comes with the exact same pickups and electronics that this guitar comes with. Let's start by hearing this thing through the Sweetwater modified Princeton Reverb. towards the end of 2024, I had the opportunity to play a few different PRS guitars. The SE McCarty 594 and the S2 McCarty 594 that came with the American-made 5815 pickups, and I really enjoyed both of them. I no longer have either one here, however I do have this package from PRS, and there's actually kind of an interesting story and something that really shows me what kind of company that they are, because I had a similar thing happen to me with a different brand years ago, and they would never have done this. It's a brand new hang tag that has the date on it, the serial number, and all that fun stuff. Had a bit of a snafu originally when I had ordered a guitar, as obviously from the thumbnail, and as you're going to see later in this video. It didn't exactly come with everything because it was left on my porch. However, it was recovered, but PRS were cool enough to send me another one of these, and they didn't have to do that. So thank you very much. There's only been 3 times in my life where I've sat with the guitar before even plugging it in and thought to myself, yeah, I have something extremely special here. There's a lot of great guitars out there in this world, and sometimes they're not a perfect fit for all of us, and sometimes we try to make things work that shouldn't, but sometimes you just know. And this guitar is one of those instances where I just knew pretty much straight away, like, yeah, this was the PRS I should have bought to begin with instead of just a regular McCarty, but I'll touch on that a little bit later. I want to start with the playing experience of this one. There's something about this guitar that reminds me of 2 guitars from a different brand that I love so much. Now, hear me out. The first is the Fender Jaguar. You might be looking and saying, there's no vibrato. How the hell is he getting the Jaguar out of this? It's all about the location of the neck itself. One of the reasons why I ended up with the double cut version of this guitar instead of the single cut was because the nut felt even closer to my left hand than on the single cut. And so for me, I was like, yeah, this is right at home. This is kind of what I like. And the short scale length also contributes to a little less string tension, which is something I also prefer. But the compactness and just the overall feel of this guitar makes me feel right at home, just like I would on a Fender Jag. The other Fender that this guitar reminds me of, oddly enough, is a Telecaster. Again, it may seem like a really strange thing to do to compare this with the Tele, but the playing experience of this when I am plugged into the amplifier reminds me so much of my vintage Telecaster. This is such an articulate and precise instrument that I don't have anywhere to hide on it. And I know that's something that some people, they disagree with. They say, well, if you play bad on any guitar, it's going to let you know. But on this guitar and on my JV Tele, it really does let you know. But what's really great about it is when I am playing well, or at least I feel like I'm playing well, I'm rewarded by both of the instruments. And they provide such a unique voice. They're so clear and so just perfect in that sense, and that's a really subjective thing. Again, everybody has their own different kinds of preferences and things that they like and they appreciate out of guitars, and I like putting up a fight, but the difference between this and the Tele, it's not as big of a fight to actually play it as it is with the vintage radius on the Telecaster, and I do appreciate that. I'm not going to spend much time on the fit and finish. They were perfect. The playability out of the box was fantastic, and the fretwork is stellar. But these are all things that if they weren't the case, given how much these cost, I think I'd have a big problem. And you would absolutely be hearing it from me because I'm not the kind of person that pulls punches when it comes to these reviews, as you've seen from some of the recent ones. But with all that being said, this really is a stellar instrument that lives up to both the name and the price tag, and I'm proud and I feel privileged to own this one myself. But is it really that much better than either the S2 or the SE? I'll start with the SE. Yeah, I don't even think that they're similar. They're really not. They're totally different instruments for totally different people. But I will say this, the SE is such an awesome guitar for what you pay for it, and it's such a workhorse guitar, and it's something that you could pick up, set the thing up to your own liking, and if you didn't love the electronics in it, you could swap them out to whatever you wanted to, take it on gigs, and not worry if the thing gets dinged up, not worry if the color fades on the guitar or anything like that, and it will serve you extremely well. Nothing really bad to say about it, but compared to something like this specific guitar, this is just, it's a different class, and you know, as to be expected. The S2 is where things get a little bit more interesting. because you're getting the same exact electronics in it, and they're both American made. At the end of the day, if your goal is to have a guitar that you don't have to modify a single thing on, you just want to be able to take it out of the box, set it up, go and play live with it, or go right into the recording studio and get to work, the S2 is going to do just as good of a job as this guitar. I still prefer this one. Is it insane? Kind of. Yeah, it kind of is insane, but the feel of this one feels nicer to me. I prefer the full violin carve on this one compared to the one that comes on the S2 on this particular Paul Reed Smith guitar, but that's not going to be the case for everybody. And honestly, you should always stay within your means, but if you can and you're willing to try out one of these guitars, it could be a dangerous proposition because you really might fall in love with one, and that goes for any of the Paul Reed Smith or any quality instrument manufacturer whatsoever out there in the world. Potential cons. You're looking at one right now, and I've made videos about this in the past. This is blue. Blue is my favorite color of all time. Paul Reed Smith guitars, if you do a quick search on the internet, sometimes they can lose their blue and they can lose it pretty rapidly. For me, in my cases, this is not a guitar I intend on playing out live with, and especially out in the Florida sun. That's just not going to happen. But if it did happen, I've seen the results of the faded blue jean, and you see it on the screen. I think it looks really good, so I wouldn't be completely heartbroken as opposed to the purple that was on the old McCarty that I had. If that lost all the purple, I really didn't like the way that those faded in comparison. So is it ideal or acceptable to have the blue just totally go on these things, and especially in such a short time compared to some other finishes that other manufacturers offer? That's all up to you. To me, I just think I'm going to live with it because at the end of the day here, the people at Sweetwater and my sales rep especially, Mr. Tyler, you said if anything happens to this blue in the first 2 years, you're going to take care of it. Now, you've never seen this happen. And secondly, the guitar plays so well, and I feel so at home with this specific instrument. Whatever, man. We all age over time anyways. It might be fun to age this guitar with me. That's it. I don't have much else to say. I love this guitar. Reviewing a guitar like this always seems really strange to me because it's such an expensive instrument for a guitar player. I mean, compared to somebody who plays a traditional instrument like a violin, this is just pennies into the well, so to speak, where you're making a wish. But it should be great. It is great. It's exceptional. I'm going to end today's video by bringing things full circle from where we started today. I have to thank Sweetwater and Paul Reed Smith again. I wasn't expecting this guitar to take a walk off my porch, but then again, it was Christmas season, and it probably was an error to have this thing with no signature required, but all's well that ends well. The guitar is here. Sweetwater were awesome enough to reach out to Paul Reed Smith to see if they would replace the hang tag, and obviously, they were. And that says a lot about how they care about their customers even after the sale has been completed. So thank you to both of them, and it really makes me say, you know what? Yeah, these are the kind of companies that I want to support and I want to get behind. Thank you for watching today's video. If you have any questions, comments, and or concerns, leave them down below. I always love reading what you guys have to say. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take it easy, everybody.